platform where meaningful conversations bring our community together. I'm your host, Kwanele, and today we have a truly special episode. With Election Sunday just around the corner, the atmosphere across the campus has been more exciting. From hostels to the lecture halls, students discussing one question above all else: who should lead the Zimbabwe students to the next chapter? Every election is about more than campaign posters and promises. It's about vision, leadership, and future we choose together. That's why we are giving you the opportunity to hear directly from the candidates seeking your trust and your vote. Joining us today is the name that has become impossible to ignore this election session. Known across the campus, Uncle Teddy. He is recognized as many as a leader, a mentor, and a passionate advocate for students, campaigning under the vision, leadership, service, and unity. His manifesto to focus on improving food quality, strengthening healthcare services, enhancing student transport, and also the cultural identity for Zimbabwe students, with all the goal creating stronger and more united community. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the president and the Uncle Teddy. The president is in the room right now. Thank you for joining us. Sit down.
Thank you for having me in the international circle.
Okay. Thank you for making time to join us today. Your campaign has sparked the conversation throughout the Zimbabwean community, and many students are eager to hear more from you. Before we discuss any further, we'd like to know more about your personality. So, firstly, Uncle Teddy, tell me who is Talent Togarepe?
Talent Togarepe is a visionary man, a man who rose through the winds to become who he is today. You know, from coming from the humble beginning to become who I am today is because of hard working, persistence, and never giving up. That's what Uncle Teddy is.
Okay. You just mentioned about Uncle Ted. Like, can you tell me briefly about that nickname, Uncle Ted? How does it come, and where did you get that name from?
It's very interesting, my brother Panela. When I'm looking at that name, you know, it really makes me remember what exactly happened back then when I was in Zimbabwe. I have my nephew, and that my nephew used to call me Uncle Teddy because he used to play with teddy bears. So because of the bond and connection that we had, that name became part of my identity. Because whenever I'm doing something, she inspires. She inspires me to become who I am today. She inspired me to become who I am today. So that name comes from my nephew.
That's a very nice experience. So, Uncle Ted, tell me, like, if your friends could describe you maybe in 3 words, what could they say to you? Your personality.
I'm well determined.
Okay. Okay. So, like, I would like to know more about what really influenced you to become a leader. Like the motivation that is brought you to lead students. What is the motivation behind that?
You know, everything resonates to my upbringing when I was growing up. You know, being raised by a widowed mother at the age of 7 made me who I am today. Through the struggles that I experienced through life, the tremendous, I learned to take responsibility at a young age, to take care of my sisters, to take care of my mother in the rural area. So from that moment, I said, I'm going to change the community, because when I was growing in my community in Chatsworth, Kutu, Masvingo, I saw how people struggled to get food. As people see people who struggle to go to school. So from that moment, I said, I'm going to rise through the ladders, through determination, through hard working, to become a leader.
Oh, that's very emotional. I'm from Masvingo, so
Wait.
first time to hear that. Okay. In Menezi.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Impressive.
Close to Bidbridge.
Very much, I
Okay.
know.
So I'm going to like to know about what the biggest challenge that you've solved so far, like the biggest challenge that you overcome.
Okay, this came back to when I was Form 4, and I couldn't know how I could go to Form 6. So at that moment, I was facing serious financial problems, because my mom at that moment she was sick, and at the same time I had to go to school. So I had to work in neighbors' fields and those who have money, to make sure that I can have some financials to take care of my womb, and take care of my school fees. So at that moment, I was inspired to become a leader and to know that I can overcome anything. And that's why I am here today.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. Okay, so like, what keeps you motivated every day? What keeps you moving and never giving up every day?
You know, when I'm looking back where I came from where I was back then, I don't have choice. You know, if I could have choice, maybe I could have said like I'm motivated by my friends, I'm motivated by riches, I'm motivated by other things. But there's no way back. There's only one way to go: to rise and to grab that pinnacle of the ladder. That's the thing. That's the point.
That's really, really very powerful.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to know maybe what do you want every student to know more about you? Because we just know the name Uncle Ted, but what do you would like us as students to know more about you?
Yeah. You know, out of that vibe, people they know me through music, through leadership, through church leadership. You know, most people they can sometimes able to depict some kind of character that they want to see on me, brother.
Okay,
But there's one character that I want people to know that I'm a human being. I make a lot of mistakes.
okay,
I fear the most. But there's one thing that I know: through teamwork, through working, we can rise together. That's why I want to be a leader. I'm not going to lead people, but they are going they're going to be part of what we're going to do majorly, because that's the determination. So in me, there's one thing: there's fear, but cannot determine where I'm going.
okay. That's really powerful. Maybe before we get into another chapter, I would like to know you talked about leadership. I once said that you once campaigned to become a leader, to become a president, and I just said maybe things didn't go well. So can you tell us briefly about that scenario where you campaigned to become a president, but you are not elected? So just tell us what really happened and what do you feel about it?
You know, the moment I recall what really happened, it's a very sarcastic story.
Okay, okay,
You
yeah,
know,
just
because
tell
most
us.
people they ask a lot of questions after that. You know, why, how did it happen, and so forth. Because people were expecting. So what really happened is, I wanted to be a president.
Okay,
I knew inside me that there was something to become a leader, to be part of the leadership. But because of the constitution, because the constitution is there to safeguard
yes,
its principle, the principles, the laws of the constitution of Zimbabwe, particularly it for the Zimbabwe students here. So the constitution couldn't allow me to become the leader at that time. I know it was for the best. It was waiting for this moment.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
I hope this time we are getting into the leadership. I really trust you. So, like, how do you feel about that? Did you feel upset or like?
yeah, at first I don't want to lie. I was so upset and furious. You know, that moment I asked myself questions, many questions like, am I suitable to become a leader? Am I eligible to become a leader? In some, at that moment. But later I realized something, that there's a moment for everything. I had to keep the momentum. Here, look at here I am today.
Yeah,
One of the prominent candidates,
yeah. Yes.
alongside Nyazenga, alongside Kata, who are the most prominent figures I can talk about right now. I respect them so much. So it inspired me that
Okay.
you don't have to give up. And here I am today.
Yeah, and us as the international circle, we are supporting you to become a leader.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay, and also
Yeah.
like you are now moving on to the other part. You want to talk about food and dining
Yes.
because most students, us as international students, will complain about the food in the dining. So, what do you think is really the problem about the food that you are being offered here?
Okay. Here there's friction
Okay.
between the international culture and the vegan culture, which is the Indian culture. So when it comes to food, each and every country has its own unique cuisines. So when it comes to international students at vegan, we are looking at people with different tastes,
Okay.
different preferences,
Yes.
different choice of food, right? So it's very difficult for us to solve each and every one's individual choices of food and the taste of food.
Okay.
So this is the critical issue. So so the major problem, a drawback here, is it's not easy for the vegan society to bring us the food that resonates with the taste from Zimbabwe.
That's
It's
impossible.
very, 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 very impossible. But there's a way out that we can be able to bridge that gap.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's powerful. I would like to know, or maybe if you get elected tomorrow on Sunday, Like, what changes would you make in the dining about the food changes? Would you do anything, or you just start something that is new? What will you do?
Thank you so much. So I can take this from the previous leadership, the leadership of Amio Shumba and the executive. You know, they proposed a solution for that. That they were supposed to be an election
Okay.
of the international students who will be there for catering services
Oh, okay.
pertaining to the international students. But that solution was never a success. So that's one thing that I'm going to run for, to make sure that the leadership or the administration at Vignan, they must be aware of what they promised us, whether the one that promised us.
Okay.
So they must make sure that that solution is put forward and make sure it manifested. So that's the one thing that I'm going to do. Immediately after the election, I'm going to make sure that Klaus come to success.
Okay, so I want to talk about the food committee. Are you going to make any changes about these food committees and anything? Maybe do you choose others to become into that committee, and how do you work in that with the committee in the dining department?
Thank you so much. So what I'm going to change is going to be is about operation and how they and their structure and how their accountability when it comes to the issues pertaining to food. So what we are going to do is we're going to make sure that they are going to execute their jobs fully, right? Mainly taking the issues from the majority, from the community, that make sure that their issues are heard, their voices are heard concerning that particular issue of food. That's the most important thing that I'm going to do.
Okay, I think students are really listening about your promise that you are putting. Okay,
Yes.
so like if you have to rate the current dining situation out of 10, how would you rate it?
Okay, so I would rate it at five, five. But I think we need to move maybe to 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I rated it
Yeah,
at
that's a nice rating. That's a nice rating. So like we would like to move on to the health in the healthcare. So as for me, as a Zimbabwe student, I said number one. Yeah, sad. So like the thing that I fear most for if I get ill, like would I get help and at what time and how long?
Okay,
I don't even know the clinics here
understandable.
available in India. So like in the healthcare, what are your promises that you can change or that you can make? And I heard some several students saying, I'm not feeling well. Then I'll be like, is there any community that serves in the health sector? So like, what are the changes that you may put or implement in the health sector?
Okay, before I delve into that question more specifically, I want to talk about the past a bit, because the past will determine how we are going to put forward solutions pertaining to health. So when I'm looking at this issue, I've got about 4 people that I want to talk about. We have the likes of our brother called Kumbula, who recently was injured before from the bus because of I don't know what much happened, but we have that encounter. Also, we have the encounter of our brother who is the chairman of IBM, who suffered also the same issues of injuries. You know, with the likes of our sister who suffered also the same issue about he was electrocuted by the electricity. And these issues, they taught me one thing, you know, that the health is the most crucial, the most important part of warfare. It is the one reason why is the one reason that why I want to become a leader, to make immediate changes to safeguard the lives of Zimbabweans.
Okay. Yes. So like about the services,
Yes.
would you provide a 24/7 service or like
Absolutely.
and also about funding?
Absolutely.
Like,
So yeah, we partner with the university, the administration, to make sure that the administration will be able to create a medical aid package standing for these emergencies. Make sure that if someone had that is health issues, must be rushed to the hospitals, because the hospitals are nearby here. You know. Another thing is we're going to make sure that we have health representatives at every hostel, and they'll be able to take data immediately. When there's an emergency, we need to call, ask the leadership that we can be able to communicate with the health. And we need the number, the health emergency number, not there's health emergency number at the college, but particularly the international students. That's my solution.
okay, how about funding? Like maybe if I don't have money, I get ill. Like, would you also the service will need help all those who don't have money?
particularly, we're going to talk about over that.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Like, I would like to talk about the mental health, because like the university life is more stressful. So like, do you handle what would you do to handle that situations, and what would you do about the mental health problems for the students?
Yeah, currently we are facing very serious mental health issues and the drawbacks and the tremendous when we're looking at what is happening right now. You know, even the likes of me, I suffered from mental health the moment I landed here, trying to adapt adapt to everything around here. And I can propose that through making changes in food, in healthy, and this community warfare,
Okay.
how we resonate with the society, how we imbue ourselves to the society. I can say we will be able to create a better environment for mental health. And we're going to run campaigns that I can say, let's talk about right now. Run campaigns for every 2 months to make sure that people with mental health have received the help or the solutions to make sure that they will not be able to suffer these issues.
I think that's very important on that part.
Thank you.
So like, we'd like to move on to the next segment. We want to talk about culture and transport. So
Okay.
like, why do you think it's important for us, the Zimbabwe students, to maintain our cultures while we're studying here in India? Is it possible to keep maintaining my culture, my all the things like that I used to do in Zimbabwe, not to take other cultures? What do you say on that?
Okay. I think to become who we are today,
Yes.
it's because of the culture that we have in Zimbabwe. And we are proud women. We are proud of Zimbabwe, brother.
Yeah.
Are you proud? Are you not proud of
I'm
Zimbabwe?
proud of who.
Sure.
I mean, the really
I,
guy.
I love that.
Yeah.
You are proud of Ubon, right?
Yeah, I'm proud.
So we are shoners.
Yeah.
Right. But when we go into other countries, for example, right now we are at Vignan University.
Yes.
It's a different society where we are a mixture from different countries with different cultural backgrounds. I think we must not be that rigid to our own particular culture that we've grown up with, but we have to learn a bit from the other cultures to make sure that we are able to solve and to integrate what they're doing to make changes in their lives. That's the most important thing. Because how can we live in Vignan without to be able to integrate with them? But we don't have to compromise our culture, because that's where our true identity is. So as a fellow, I advise a fellow Zimbabwean to know more about India, to know more about how they do their things, how they make their food, how they do a lot of things, but without compromising who they are.
Thanks for that. So like, what kind of cultural activities or events would you like to introduce that students can genuinely look forward to do?
Okay, I will run straight to the point. I'm thinking about an international cultural exhibition, a ceremony, or can you call it a celebration, where each and every members from the different countries, the likes of Sudan, Togo, Indians, they were able to bring their culture, like food, clothing, everything, and make sure that we be able to showcase and to exhibit how they're doing their things, how they are making their own food, and make sure that each and every person that is going to be there is going to taste food from Zimbabwe, taste food from Sudan, to make sure that we enjoy it and we understand why they are doing what they are doing. Thanks.
That's powerful. So like, my next question is like, how do you strengthen the relationship between the Zimbabweans and the local students? How do you think you do the procedure that you take to strengthen the relationship between the two guys?
Okay. On this issue, I think maybe we were able to run a campaign, and that campaign is all about a startup campaign, where we'll be able to make sure that we group each other with the Indians, discussing about business insights, about business, how they are doing their business in India. We come from Zimbabwe to be here, to learn about them.
Yes.
So we are able to exchange how we're living. So through that discussions, we are be able to coalesce and to come together as a strong community. And that's how we can make friends.
Yeah.
So that's the system that I think we can do to make sure that we are creating a business hub or the likes of that. Thank you.
We are really waiting for that moment, so that I think this will be very helpful for us. So like, we would like to move on to the other part. So we want to talk about leadership. because
Okay.
everyone is looking forward to know more about this. So maybe in your own words, can you describe what is meant by leadership from your own
Oh,
views?
that question, it comes from different perspectives.
Yeah.
But from me, I have two words. Two, two words. One word is responsibility. A leader, no matter what, no matter the turbulences, no matter the winds,
Okay.
you must be able to stand and to be responsible for every outcome of what you are going to do. Never point a finger into anyone, but take responsibility thoroughly for every action as a leader. Two is accountability. Because how you feel must resonate with what others feel. If you feel here in India, will be able to feel isolated and be able to feel away from home, some sicknesses and kind of things. We need to make sure that we are accountable for all the others ahead. That's the most important thing about leadership. It's not about me
Yes, yes.
as a leader. No, it's about the others. How are they doing?
Okay.
That's my view on that.
Yeah, that's great. So, what is the biggest lesson leadership has taught you so far? What you can say the lesson that
Yes.
this lesson has taught me that what is leadership for me?
Leadership is a two-sided die. Is a two-sided die. In terms of there's a success story, there's a failure story. And one thing that we have to accept that you're a human being. You can fail. You can fail. And the leadership is not about I. It's about we. I'm not going to be a leader for you, my brother, just only for you or for me. No. But for the whole of the community. Yes.
That's really powerful. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, like, I would like also to know about what's the thing that maybe if you become elected, the thing that you definitely do, your promise so far to the students, to everyone who is watching and listening to this. What's your greatest promise to us?
Okay. I have got two greatest promises.
Okay.
One, the most critical one, which is the health issues.
Yeah,
I'm going to make sure that we have adequate resources for the healthy welfare of this movement.
Okay.
Two, we want to make sure that we are revived back to our cultural performances.
Yes.
Like going for, right now we are going for a 22 December,
Yes.
this Unity Day. Make sure that we able to gather and to celebrate together. That's who we are. That makes us able to forget our problems at once.
Okay. Yeah, that's really great. So let's say if the election doesn't go the way you are looking forward, I know you're going to win, but just for instance, like maybe if you are not going to be elected, like would you continue serving the community or you just retreat and what would be your reaction after that?
Oh, wow. I don't. Yeah, so it is to answer that. But what I can say is leadership is part and aspect of blood.
Okay.
When something is in you, you are more responsible for how others are living,
Okay.
how others are performing, how others are doing in their lives.
Yes.
So as a leader, let's say I'm not elected.
Okay.
I'm continuing to become a leader under the leadership of the church.
Okay.
Also, make sure that I'm responsible for whatever tasks or whatever events that they are being done in the university. Make sure that I'm involved in all things. That's my contribution. Yes.
Okay, that's nice. So, like the other question that I have for you is,
Okay.
there are so many students who are campaigning for this position. So, like, I would like to
Yes.
know why should we elect you? Maybe the reason, the strong reason that why should we choose you? Because there are many who like to be in that position. So, why do we choose you?
Okay. Yeah. My principle is based on we.
Okay.
Yeah. People can say they've chosen me,
Yeah.
but it's about us as a community. The one reason is I'm going to listen to make sure that I listen and to execute my work constantly. Make sure that the results of anything that we propose come true. That's the one reason that why people must elect me and choose me to represent them, because I'm going to be their representative, and I will make sure that every problem that we're going to rise, we will make sure that we try and make sure that these problems are solved.
Okay. So maybe last one for the leadership.
Okay.
So, like, I would like to know, leadership isn't always popular. tell us about a time you would make a difficult decision that not everyone agreed with you. So I want to know about how would you handle decision making, because, for example, others will be wanting this while others will be wanting this. So we are always divided. Not everyone like the same thing. So like, tell
Okay.
me that thing. How would you handle decision making? For example, I can say I want rice. Some say we want salsa in the dining room. So like in these kind of situations, how would you handle that?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. First of all, ZRC,
Yes.
ZSRC,
Yes.
it's a body,
Okay.
right? And I'm not alone.
Yes.
I'm going to have a team.
Okay.
So whenever there is any issue that is controversial, issue that is causing divisions in the parties, that issue, we sit down and discuss more about it before we propose a solution. So whenever something that came out to us, we don't just nullify that aspect immediately. No, we take that issue further and make sure that either we say yes to it or we say no to it, depending on it's applicable to what we're talking about. Because we are here to save the community as a whole. Sometimes individual preferences can be hard to meet sometimes,
Yes.
but we are going to try by all means that we body. The ZSRC brings out the solutions.
Okay, before we end, we always ask you the final. This camera broadcast Fignan, but to your family back to Zimbabwe, to students across India, and to the people around the world, what message would you like to leave with everyone watching today?
So, ladies and gentlemen, the leadership strives for the better today with a better tomorrow. And I will ensure you that we are accountable and responsible to make this today better for our brothers and sisters who are going to come here, that they must enjoy this as their second home. It's not easy to become a national community, but we'll make sure that when our brothers and sisters come to India, specifically to Fignan, they must receive a well suitable environment while they are studying and while they are enjoying their lives. That's my contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Uncle Ted. I'm looking forward to talk to you another episode, being the president, being the leader of the Zimbabwean students. And we truly appreciate your honesty, your respect you have shown to us today. Our leadership is about more making promises. So we're looking forward to see you in the leadership position, fulfilling your promises. As for us, International Circle, we really appreciate your time and your honesty. Thank you so much.
Siyabonga.
So guys who are watching, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our video. Thank you so much.